Hello and welcome to my channel. So today I'll be teaching you how to cut notch lapel jacket. So on the screen I have the measurement that I'll be using. On the top of this paper I'm going to measure 4 inches. So this 4 inches that I'm measuring is where our back collar would sit. So I'm going to measure this out and then connect this. And from this part, I'm going to measure 4 inches as well. So this part is for the lapel, where we are going to place the lapel and the button stand. So this is the space for the back collar and this is the space for the lapel. Next I'm going to measure the width of my neck. The width I'm using is 2.5 and then the depth is 3 inches. And I'm just going to connect this. I'm going to take the shoulder measurements. Shoulder measurements I'm using is 7, and then I'm going to come down here by 1.5 inch. Then I'll connect this. So this is the shoulder slope. And from this 1.5 inch, I'm going to measure the armhole depth. The armhole depth is 7.1. I divided the bust measurement by 6 and added 1.5 to it. And the bust measurement is 34. Divided by 6 and then plus 1.5. So just want to measure this is 7. Okay. Next is the bust point. The bust point measurement I'm using is 9.5. 9.5. I'm also going to mark 9.5 here. So this is the bust point. Next I'm going to take the waist length measurements. The waist length measurement I'm using is 16. I'm also going to mark 16 here. I'm going to connect these together. You can see where I'm measuring from. I'm measuring from this line here downward. And the length I'm using for this jacket is 924. So from the waist measurement here, I'm going to come up by 1 inch here. And then I'm going to come down here by 2 inch. From this that I've marked, I'm going to go outward by 1 inch and then go outward here by 1 inch. So this is the button stand. And then the armhole depth, I'm going to divide this by 2, get the midpoint of this, and I'm going to mark that midpoint. So from this midpoint, I'll go in by 0.75. Then I'll come down to this chest line and then measure my bust circumference divided by 4. That is 8.5. So I have that here. And I'm going to connect this line to this line and to this place. Now that this is done, from this part I'm going to come out by 2.5 inches. This is the lapel width. Now this is optional, however you want to do yours. If you want to come out by 2 inches, it's up to you. So I'm going to come up by 2.5, and then I'm just going to draw a straight line to connect this. This is the center front. Then from this part of my button stand, I'm going to rule a straight line upward. Now, at this part, if you want your lapel to be straight at this part here, then you can leave yours this way. But if you want it slanted, you can come down by 0.5 or come down by 1 inch. I want mine to have a little slant, so I'll come down by 0.5 and connect to this line this way. I'm going to lift this up by 2 inch. But while I'm lifting this up, I'll be using my protractor here to do that, because I'll need this to be at angle 45. So the way this is placed, you can make use of this protractor here, or you make use of this angle here. Whichever one you use will give you the same results. So I'm just going to place this here on the line. This is at 90. I'm going to mark 45 here, and this is 45. And I'm just going to measure 2 inch following this that I marked here. So this is it. So I'm coming up here by 2 inch. So I'm just going to connect my 2 inch to meet with my neckline here. So this is the first line, and then this is the second one here. So I'll be using this because I don't want it straight. But if you want it straight, then it will look this way. Then I'm going to curve this upward to meet with this. And this line that I have here, I'm going to connect this line to it with this one that I have drawn here. Now at this point, I'll be using a curve to do this. A curved line instead of a straight line, so that it can sit properly on the back neck. Before I do this part of the collar, let me quickly draft the back one so that you understand better by the time I'm done. I'm going to measure the shoulder. This is the shoulder, which is 7. The neck width remains the same. The neck width is 2.5 plus the extra 0.1. So the neck width for the back is now 2.6. So we have 2.6 here. And then the neck depth is 1 inch. So just connect this together. Now the shoulder measurement, I'm going to come down by 1. But the front I came down by 1.5. I'm going to measure 8.6 here downward, because the front chest line and the back chest line have to be of equal width. So from this point here down to the chest line that I have here, that's 8.6. So whatever I have here is what I'll be doing for the back. So this is 8.6 here. So I'm just going to take the shoulder measurement here, which is 7. Okay. And then I'm going to connect this to this 1 inch that I dropped. At the back here, I'm going to divide this measurement by 2. I'll get the midpoint, and then I'm going to go in by 0.5. At the front part, I went in by 0.75. At the back, I'll go in by 0.5. Then this part, I'm going to measure the bust circumference divided by 4. That's 8.5. So I'll just connect to, and I'm going to measure the waist length. The waist length is 16, and then the length of the bag is 22. The front length is 24. That's because I'll be using up 2 inches for the bust that. So I'm just going to mark 16 and 22 at this side. After marking, I will go ahead and connect. So with this, I'm going to measure my neck, the back neck, to see what I have. So yeah, I have 3 inches. So and then measure 3 inches here. 3 inches here. And I'm going to add 0.5 inch to it. Just practically what we did here is what I will be repeating here. I'm just going to lay this protractor over this line. You can see the way it's laid flat on it. That is this line straight. The way it's laid. So this is the mark, the 0 mark here. Yes, this is 0 mark here, and this is 90. So this is where I'm going to mark. You want a slant line, you don't want a straight line. That is why I'm marking here. So if I'll be using this, let me show you this one. If it is laid this way, so you can see this is the first line here. This is the first line directly on what I've wrote, and the 0 point is resting on my marked measurements, and the next line is pointed towards what I just marked here. So if you're using this, you get the same results when you make use of this one. But on the look of things, my paper is not going to be enough, so I'm going to extend this. Yes, I've extended this paper. Just ensure this is at 90, and then I'm just going to measure 3.5 from here, from this point. So that's the width of the collar. I'm using 3.5. So following the angle 90 mark upward, I have 2.5 here. You can see it's not straight. You can see it's not straight. We have a slanted line instead. So now that we have this, I'm just going to use this slight curve to join this to this. After this, I'll just go ahead and take my dart measurements. Before I take the dart measurements, I'll measure my bust span, which is the nipple to nipple points. So the nipple to nipple points measurement I'm using here is 3.25. I'm measuring from the center front, so I'm doing 3.25. So I'll just measure it downward, 3.2. And then follow this. For this measurement here, I'm going to measure 0.5 on either side of the line. So I'm just going to connect this. Just connect this to this part as well. Then from here, I'm going to go down by 5 inch. This button stand, I'm just going to draw the slanted one next to this part here. The waist measurement I'm using is 28 divided by 4, that's 7. Because the 1 inch I used up for that as 8. Then here I'm using the hip measurements. The hip measurement for this part is 36, that's 9. So now that I've connected this, I'm going to mark out my bust dart, which is 2 inch. So we have 2" here. So I'm going to connect this to it with this dot here. So I'll be transferring this dot to this one while sewing. That means this dot will not be seen on my clothes, rather this will be seen. So this is what will be visible. This will be transferred to this. When I measure this part to this place, which is about 5.5, and when I measure this part, which is giving me about 5.2, you see the difference. So I'm going to fold this, then reconnect the line so that there won't be shortage at the end of the day. And let them end of this. So you see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to reconnect this line. So I'll use my tracing wheel to trace this out. So I'm just going to do this following what I've traced out with my tracing wheel. So this is the dot. Next, I'm going to add my seam allowance to this. I'm going to add 1.5 inch seam allowance. You can add 1 inch, you can add 2, wherever you want it. So I'm going to add, then this line here, I'm going to extend this by 1.5. I'm also going to extend this one by 1.5. 1.5. Then the back, I'm just going to add my basic circumference measurements to this. So I have 8.5, then 1.5 for the seam allowance. At the waistline here at the back, I'm going to go in by 0.5 inch, and then I'm going to measure my bust pan. So this is where I will be drafting out my darts. So that is 3.25. So I have that here. Then I'm going to measure the bust pan here as well, 3.25. And then my chest line, let me roll out my chest line. Okay, then I'm also going to measure 3.25 here. Now that is done, the 0.5 inch that I came in by, I'm going to pick this up. And also slant it down a bit. That's because of the contour at the back waistline. That is why this is like this. I'm going to go in by 0.5 here, 0.5 and 0.5 here for the that. Then at the top here, that's your chest line. I'll come down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to go down here by 5 inch and connect this way. I'm going to measure 7 inch for the waist circumference, that's 20 divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch that I used up there, so that's 8.5. And at this part here, I'm going to measure 9 inch. Now add my seam allowance, which is 1.5 to 8. 1.5 and 1.5 to 8. Put the center back. So at the back here, I want to leave this all by 3 inches. So the length is gonna be 19. So I want to leave this all by 3 inches. So from this part here, I came up by 0.75. At the front part too, I did the same because I want a curve here. So I drew my curve this way, and in front I flipped this and drew my curve this way. Once this is used up as the seam allowance, once it is used up, we'll have something like this. The center back this way to the front. And I'm going to close up this that. So this is the back. These points to this point, I'm going to lay this over here. So you see, this is meeting with this, and this point is also meeting with this point. So I'm just trying to do this so you see the outcome of what it will look like once it is sewn to a cloth. So this will be connected to the back, and this SS is 0.5 inches I added at the back collar. The back is shorter than the front. That's just how I want it to look. This is the notch here. That's what it's called, the notch lapel jacket. This is what we have here. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next one.